Hi everyone. As I present this, it's not for a presentation. I would be talking about the difference between equity and equality. So I go into my first slide. It describes, in your own words, by using images, describe the difference between equity and equality. Equality can be defined as treating each other individual in the same manner, irrespective of needs and requirements. Equity, it can be defined as the quality of treating individuals fairly based on their needs and requirements. As I describe it within a classroom community, it can be very difficult to define these two because as an educator, you see different children and different needs, but when you unite equality, meaning not making a difference because one child needs more than other, and you unite equity, then you become more successful when you combine both of them together within the classroom. Slide 2 and 3, I will going to be talking about a situation that happened to one of my families when I was a Head Start teacher in my program in the state of Washington. There were a family from the same sex. They were trying to adopt a child, but they were doing it through adoption in Vancouver. The family was denied the adoption because the parent that was going to give them the child denied. She didn't want the child be given to a same-sex family. But they ended up going into the courts where they took 3 sessions. The judge decided that the baby was going to be fine being parented by 2 of the same sex. It was a very nice experience because as they told me this experience, it was making me understand how impacting it can be when, they don't give you that opportunity, that equality. Here we go again, the equality versus equity. It was very controversial, very emotional for both parents, but at the end they ended up adopting the child, which was a little girl. And the little girl ended up being in my classroom. She was very happy, very enjoyed class. They still had the struggles of signing paperwork, getting to have all the benefits of being a parent. But it becomes really hard when you become a parent of the same sex in that opportunity, because you have to make sure that your rights are being accepted as a parent, and being able to have the equality versus the equity is that, they were not being treated equally. At the end, they gave them the opportunity and the acceptance, which I can describe in equity in this situation. The equality is that the family was able to get the opportunity to break bias and enjoy the journey of adoption. It took the 3 sessions, like I said, and they were able to understand that a family is a family. The court decided that because of one person, it wasn't going to define them on how to be parents. Slide 4 says, describe an educational situation of inequity that you or someone has experienced. One of the experience that I had a long time ago when I was a reading court, I served as an AmeriCorps for the state of Washington as well. It was a situation that really, and up to this day, has me really thinking about the importance of having equality within the classrooms, embracing cultures, embracing families, embracing religion, embracing everything that has to do with culture itself. So the situation was that I came into this classroom supporting a teacher, because the title of a reading court is that you're going into a classroom helping the educator achieve academics throughout the whole school year, which I did for a whole year. In this situation, I had 6 children. I had African American children and I had Hispanic children. And the following words that were told to me by the teacher was that I would understand them more because I was Hispanic. It really shocked me because another educator telling me, I felt like she was being very biased. And it made it seem like because I was Hispanic, I was like one of their kind or one of their species, I want to say. But it was hard because I had to process all of that, and I promised myself that I was going to work really hard with these kids, which I did. I ended up building a relationship with the children. I would go into their classrooms and check up on them on how they were doing with their work. I also would have a really good connection with the teacher besides having her biases for our culture and the kids and their learning abilities. And I decided to, jump over that bias and, say, no, I'm going to make a difference. I ended up respecting a lot the teacher's abilities, the way she would tell me how I was supposed to do it. I kind of, committed to that. And eventually at the end, the teacher noticed that I really worked really hard with these kids and the kids worked really hard. And she ended up applauding these children, which were very, very successful. Out of the 6 kids, about 3 of them were successful. And in the following year, I continued supporting the other 3 that were needing the extra support. And eventually these children were able to become very successful in their academics. And lastly, on slide 5, it says, explain why equity is necessary to support differentiation instruction related to culturally responsive teaching practices and multicultural education. It is very, very important to accept the cultures that come into our classrooms. I have this quote here that says, we're all one but different but the same. It describes the importance of being able to have equality. That's a big word. Equity to equality are 2 different words, but I feel like it has more impact, equality, because you're being fair with the students that are coming into your classroom. You know that the kids that are going to come into your classroom are going to need that extra support. They're going to need instruction, and they're going to need different areas that are going to need support, language, English. According to the classroom that I've been for 15 years has been kindergarten and Head Start. And of course, they're still developing. The children are still developing, but you're still helping these kids, become their best versions. So as I explained this last slide, it is very important to be able to embrace culture. It doesn't matter if it's preschool, kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, even in the upper levels. When we embrace and have equality within the classrooms, it's a very much successful classroom. Thank you. See you in the next post.